Good morning, everyone. Today we will talk how to come to Canada as an international student without IELTS or TCF. We will explain the process step by step and teach you how to pick up the accredited universities and colleges, because not all universities and colleges in Canada are accredited. Some colleges and universities are accredited, but they don't offer PGWP, which is post-graduation work permit. Therefore, I will leave in the description box down below links to many colleges, universities, schools across Canada in many provinces, trying to cover all provinces and territories, so you can go through all of them and find the right one for you. After finding the right school for you, you need to contact them and explain to them that you want to improve your language. You want to come to Canada as an international student, but you don't have IELTS. Or ask them if they are offering pathway programs, which is a way to improve your English while being here in Canada. The length of this program or the study period varies from student to another. It depends all on your level. So they're gonna assess your level online and place you at the right one, and then you can take it from there. And this program has many benefits. You can learn English, improve your English while being here in Canada, and once you are done, you're gonna be transferred to your desired program. For example, you're studying marketing or business administration. Once you're done, you're going to be transferred, and that's going to be way easier than applying from overseas or studying or trying to get the IELTS and then come over. And remember, you should send a professional email to one of those universities or colleges or schools which shows that you're serious about your request, so it's going to have the right attention. You don't want it to be neglected, because many people, they're sending many emails and messages which is not professional, which shows that they are not serious about it. If you don't know how to write a professional letter or email to one of those universities or colleges or schools, I'm going to leave in the description box down below a link to a website where you can hire anyone online. Make sure that they have good reviews, positive reviews, and they have 5 stars, and then hire them. They can just prepare something professional for you, and then you just can copy paste it and send it. And we all know that universities, colleges, and schools, they have tuition fees, and you don't have to pay that in full. You can negotiate with them, you can communicate and tell them, hey, I'm gonna pay a portion of that, and once I get approved, and then I'm gonna pay the rest as an installments while being here in Canada, or maybe in full. And in case of rejection, and to get your money back, you need to send them a copy of the rejection letter. So what you can do, you can just get a copy of that after receiving that by immigration, and send a copy to the university, college, or school, and then they can release your money and send it back to your account. Approximately it takes 45 days to receive your money back, but they're gonna deduct the registration fees. Probably varies from a school or university to another, and it's around $100-$200. It depends, as I mentioned. And there's another thing that you have to take into consideration, that you have to make sure that your school or university or college on the DLI list, which means Designated Learning Institution. So that list is going to show you if that school is accredited and if that school offers PGWP, which is post-graduation work permit, which is the most important thing, because after graduation you need to get a post-graduation work permit to be able to work. And I'm gonna leave in the description box down below the link for the DLI list. So if you find a school or university or college, just look them up, find them, and see if they are eligible. Now we're done with the first step. Moving to the next one, which is having an explanation letter. As I mentioned, and I talked about those explanation letters in my previous videos, which is really crucial. You need to explain, why did you choose Canada? Why not the US or UK? Why did you choose Canada specifically? So you need to explain to them in your point of view and try to explain all the valid reasons. As a reminder, you have to make it in a professional way. As I mentioned, you can make it on your own, that's totally fine. But if you want to make it more professional, you just hire someone from the link that I'm gonna leave in the description box down below and send it along with your documents. And now we're done with the first step, which is finding your school, university, or college, and the second one, which is the explanation letter, and the third one, which is the study plan. The study plan should clarify each and everything. It should clarify what you're doing right now, your plans when you come to Canada, and your plans after graduation. And you can prove that you did your own search and your job in a high demand after graduation. You can include other things like you write the academic background, state the objective of the study plan, give the timetable in the study plan, arrange your programs, and so forth. I suggest you to have 2 letters, one for the explanation letter, why did you choose Canada, and the other one, the study plan. Next step, which is having a bank account. You need to have a bank account with $10,000, 10,000 Canadian dollars, which is equal to probably 8,000 American, and you have to keep that money in your bank account and provide a bank statement. Remember, you don't have to use that money at all what you have to do is just to show it to the embassy, send it along with the documents, and you have to keep it during the process. What you can do if you don't have that money, you can ask your parents, as I talked before in my previous videos, to write a letter, a professional letter which states their names and their address, the amount that they're gonna send to you during your studies in Canada, and they're gonna show their support to you, and they have to sign that paper and a copy of their bank account if they have a good history and transactions. So that's a joint account if you can have a joint account with them, or if you don't, they still can write a letter and provide a copy of their bank statement. The other option, having a personal bank account or a business bank account. You still can get support from other relatives, maybe from your uncle if he has long history and transactions. He can just support you. You can write a letter and provide his bank statement along with other documents. Moving to the next step, which is finding a Canadian consulate or embassy or visa center in your area. I'm gonna leave in the description box down below a link where you can look it up and find the nearest embassy or consulate or even a visa center. And regarding the processing times, it varies from country to another. If you're applying from Dubai, probably it's gonna take 2 months to get an answer. But if you're applying from India and you're applying through the SDS, the Student Direct Stream, you're gonna get faster process. I'm gonna leave in the description box down below a link for the SDS. You can see if you are from a country which qualifies for such a process, which is probably it's gonna take 2 or 3 weeks maximum. And before moving to the second part, which is going to teach you how to fill out your application forms and submit the whole application online, I wanted to remind you that you can bring your spouse or your partner or your children to Canada while applying for a study permit. Your spouse or partner, they can apply for open work permit so you can study while they are working. And of course, you can bring your kids if they were under 22 years old. You can bring them if they were over 22 years under one condition: if they were having a mental issue or any kind of diseases that they are fully independent on you emotionally and financially. And now let's jump to the second part of the video. Welcome back to the second part of the video. So we're gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna go to Google and type study permit, how to apply. Okay, we're gonna click on the first one, study permit, how to apply, Canada.ca. And scroll down all the way and get to this point. Get specific instructions on how to apply. Okay, just where are you applying from? Outside, the vast majority. How do you want to apply? Of course, online. And scroll down. We're going to talk later about the SDS, the Student Direct Stream. And then we scroll down, create an account. This is the first step. We have to create an account. Click on that. So you're going to find the GC key, which is the first option, and the second option, which is the sign-in partner. We're going to go with the first option and click on register because we don't have a GC key yet. We're going to go and register first once you have an account, and then you can go and sign in. Or you have another option to go to Google and type sign in to my account, study permit, and then go to sign in to your IRCC secure account, Canada.ca, which is the same thing. Okay, you can't sign in, as I mentioned, and you have to register first. So I'm going to click on register. Scroll down all the way. We go with register with GC key. And we go to the right side of the screen and click on sign up because we don't have an account yet, right? So you can't sign in. You need to sign up first. You have to accept the terms and conditions of use. I accept. And now I have to choose or find a username. You guys, you can have your first and last name. And then create your own password. And repeat that again. Scroll down
and click on continue. And now you need to create your own recovery questions and answers. So there's here a bunch of questions. You can pick up whatever you wish. Let's go first with what's my first bit's name. Let's say Johnny, double Y, for example, and my memorable person, let's say, for example, my father, double R, and hint, leave it blank, it's up to you. Date, it's 1990, your graduation, your wedding, whatever you wish, whatever you want. So, and then click on continue. But make sure to write these information down just in case. And then continue, and then your email address. Let's use the same email address, samjones0 and the same at gmail.com. I'm gonna copy paste it because you have to repeat that, and then click on continue. And here you go, you have successfully created your GC key. So now they send a confirmation code to your email address that you signed up with. I'm gonna go back to my email address. Make sure it's from the government of Canada. Government of Canada, okay? And it ends with .ca, not .com or anything else. So I'm gonna copy this and go back and paste it and click on continue. And now we're good to go. Continue again, continue. And sometimes it kicks you out. So you have to go back to the main page, which is GC key, and try to sign in again because you already signed up, right? So we're gonna sign in with our username. Which is the random username that we chose before. And then continue. You have to agree on terms and conditions. Scroll down and click on I accept. And then of course you have to create your own security questions. Just choose whatever you want. Let's say, what's your favorite car? Say BMW. And what's your favorite color? Say blue, double E. What's your father's name? Let's see, Sam G. And then what's your pet's name? For example, like Johnny. And we click on continue. And we already in. So as you can see your, of course, you're gonna sign up with your first and last name. So you're gonna see your first and last name on the left side of the screen here, Sam Jones. And then you're gonna see the application that you have submitted. So you're not gonna see that until you submit your whole application. And here, if you're trying to, edit your application, you're gonna see your application here, continue an application. You haven't submitted. So as long as you have 60 days. So you still can edit your application. And now we click on apply to come to Canada, start an application. So it's going to show you this personal checklist, personal reference code, and you're going to ignore this and scroll down and look for visitor visa, study, and or work permit. So ignore the rest and just go for this for the first one. Now it's going to ask you a few questions to determine your eligibility and other things. So just answer the questions. What would you like to do in Canada? Let's say study. And how long are you planning to stay? Of course, more than 6 months, because if you selected less, that's going to be covered under tourist visa, which is TRV. So that's the option that you have to select. And then you have to scroll down and find the code on your passport. Let's say India, for example, and then you see IND, and then what's your current territory? Where do you reside, or where do you live? Let's say India. Do you have any family member who's Canadian or permanent resident? Let's say the vast majority no. And your date of birth, let's say 1982, May 13th. And then we click on next. Find out if you're eligible to apply. So they're going to ask you if you are a permanent resident of the US. The vast majority no. Have you accepted to DLI? We talked about DLI before, Designated Learning Institution, who they're accredited by the Canadian government and who are authorized to issue post-graduation work permit after graduation. So yes, you have to click on yes. Of course, you have to contact the school first and get an acceptance letter, and then you have to apply. Click on next. So have you visited or lived in any designated countries for the 6 consecutive months in the last year? So we're going to talk about these countries. And here we are, the list of designated countries. So the new list includes Australia, Iceland, Israel, Japan, Mexico, New Zealand, Norway, and Switzerland. I'm going to leave the link in the description box down below. You have to double check if you have actually lived in these countries for more than 6 months. Let's say no. And click on next. Have you had medical exam? Of course not, because we just started. You got your acceptance letter and now you're trying to apply. So you don't have that. And you don't need that right now. So no. What's your status? Let's say single. Of course, you can select married if you were married and apply for your spouse or your dependents. And where you are planning to study depends on your college or university or school. Say Ontario, and then click on next. So you can see, as you can see here, you may be eligible to come to Canada. And then we click on continue on the right side of the screen. Students study permit. You may be eligible to come to Canada as a student. And then we click on continue. You're almost there. Again, continue as well. Do you have a valid work permit or study permit and need a visa to return to Canada? No, because you just started. And then next. It's going to ask you another questions, like few questions like, are you an exchange student? If you were, you have to say yes. Say no. Is work an essential component of your studies? So it depends on your career, it depends on your program. You should know, which is, let's say, yes. And are your spouse, common law partner, or child a certain skilled worker of certain full-time international student? So you're gonna select no because you are the one who's applying, not your spouse or anyone else. I'm gonna say no. Of course, if you under these kind of things, you will know absolutely, and you're gonna select yes. Next. Are you a company family member that has a status in Canada? No. Have you committed being arrested? Of course, you have to select if that was true. Say no. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? So if you have a family, of course, you have to say yes. Let's say that we are just applying for a single person. And click on next. Are you giving someone access to your application? Like if you have a representative or a lawyer or anyone, that you want them to do the work for you, you have to mention that. Let's say, no, you're doing that on your own. I'm going to click on next on the right side of the screen. So you have to mention if you have given your fingerprints. Let's say no, because it's your first time applying. So they're asking if you're going to pay your fees. Absolutely yes. Click on next. If you can provide digital copy of your documents, of course, because most of you guys have scanners and cameras, so that's totally. And then, will you paying your application fees? Of course. Yeah, using debit card, sorry, MasterCard or credit card. You still can use debit card as well, yeah. And then click on next. Here you are. So you're gonna review your answers if you want to, but I suggest you to scroll down all the way, click on continue, submit your application. They're gonna read you again the same conditions and terms. So we're gonna scroll down and go to continue. Now we are inside. Now we have to do the work. So as you can see, your document checklist. First of all, you need to fill out the application for study permit made outside of Canada, which is IMM 1294, which is required. What you can do, just click on it, and it's gonna be, sometimes it doesn't show and it gets broken for some reasons. So what you can do, you can just download it and save it on desktop and open it from desktop. And then once you fill it out, you have to upload the file here. I'm gonna read you first these documents and then we start filling them out, all of them. And then the supporting documents like the evidence of work, because you mentioned that your career has some kind of work, right, or training. So it depends on your career, as I mentioned. Once you provide that, it's gonna come with your acceptance letter. You're gonna save it on your desktop and then upload it here. Second thing, letter of acceptance, and you're gonna get that from your school, college, university, and then a copy of your passport. If your passport has information on the first page, or first or second, it depends on your nationality on your passport. And remember, you have to upload that as one document. You can't just upload two, so you have to combine them in one PDF file. And then proof of means, which is a bank statement. And digital photo, I'm gonna leave the requirement in the description box down below because there are specific requirements like the American Embassy, and a family information, which is IMM 5645. You have to fill out the information of your family, your siblings, if you have kids, and so forth. And then here, there's another schedule, which is application for TRV, made outside Canada, IMM 5257. We're gonna fill this out and gonna upload that. And the client information, which is like you're gonna write your full name on a Word document, your address, your email address, your phone number, and just convert that into PDF and apply. That's it, upload it here. So you're gonna pay around $150 Canadian dollars for the study permit and the biometrics, around 85 in total, 235. Once you submit all these documents and you're good to go, then you can pay, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So now we're gonna start filling out these applications. We're gonna start with the first one. So here we are. As I mentioned, that you have to save it on your desktop and then open it from there, because sometimes it gets broken or you may face some errors. So that's the best thing to do. Application for a study permit made outside of Canada. This is the first application. So whenever you fill out all these fields, and then you have to click on validate. So you will just double check if you left anything blank. It's really good button here. It's going to help you if you forgot to fill out one of these fields, or if you have made any mistakes, you can just click on clear form and start from scratch. The first thing first, the UCI, that's by the Canadian Immigration, you don't need that. So you're gonna just skip. If you want your service in English or French, of course, let's go with English now. And then the personal details, let's say the family name, which is Jones, that we have already, and the given name, Sam. Have you used any other names? It depends on you. So if you did, let's say no. So it's gonna block both of them. The sex, which is male, and then date of birth, 1990, let's say 2, and a month randomly. Place of birth, let's say Dubai, and the country, United Arab Emirates. Citizenship, of course, the same thing. We're scrolling down to the next question, which is a current country or territory of residence. If, for example, if you are from Dubai and you live in India, you have to mention that. I'm going to say it's the same thing. Dubai, the status, citizen or permanent resident or visitor. So you have to mention everything. Okay, from to, which is on your work permit in Dubai or whatever you have. So you have to mention from to. I'm going to leave it blank right now because you have to enter specific information. Moving to the next question, which is current country or territory of residence. Of course, if you are from Dubai and you live in Qatar, you have to mention this. And then your status. The vast majority who lives outside, like to say in GCC countries, they have a worker status, right? And some of them, they are investors. So you click on other and mention here and from to, right? And then moving to the next question, which is previous countries or territories of residence, which is other than your country of citizenship or your current country of residence. So if you lived in other countries more than 6 months in the past 5 years, you have to mention that. Let's say you lived in Mexico or you lived in Kuwait and you were working there, you have to mention that from to, and other countries too as well, in the last 5 years. And they're asking you if you're applying, where you're applying from. So let's say from the same country of residence. So it's going to block this. If you said, or you clicked on no, then you have to mention from where. Your status, single. And if you mention that you are married, you have to mention when did you get married here on the right side. I'm going to scroll down. Sorry, it's here. And have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? Say no. It's going to block here. And what's your native language? Let's say English. Are you able to communicate in English or French? Let's say English, or you can just mention both if you can speak French. Moving to the next question, which is the passport number. Can I add anything? And country or territory of issue date, expiry date. Make sure that everything is correct. And then we move to a national identity document, which means your ID. If you were living in Dubai or Qatar, that's going to be your work permit. And then the country or territory of issue, the same thing. Gonna scroll down and start with, are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States? The vast majority, not. So if you clicked yes, you have to add a document number and the expiry date. Then scroll down, the mailing address, the PO box, apartment unit, street number, street name, city, town, country, territory. Most of the countries don't have provinces or postal codes, so you can leave it blank. That's totally fine. District and residential address, if it's the same as the mailing address. If it's not, then you have to click no and add the details below. Let's scroll down and move to the telephone number, other, because you don't have a Canadian number. Cellular, your postal code, area code, sorry, and which is, let's say, Dubai 971, I guess. Yeah. And anything, and you can add another number. And fax is not necessary. Your email address. And then we're going to scroll down. And then the name of the school, right? Let's say all in school. The level you're planning to study, or the certificate you're planning to get, diploma, bachelor, PhD, master's, okay? And your field will be probably in business, commerce, or IT. Let's say flight training. Which province? Gonna go with Alberta or British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, Nova Scotia, Northwest Territories, or Nunavut, and other provinces or territories like Ontario, Quebec, Saskatchewan, and so forth. So let's say Ontario, and let's say Ottawa. Yeah, I just passed it. Here you go. And the address of your school. The SDS Canada Learning Institution, you're going to get it from the DLI list. I'm going to leave in the description box down below, where you can check if your school is on that list. And you can still leave it a blank anyways. Your student ID number, leave it a blank because you don't have one. But once you have the acceptance letter, you're going to get that. So you can come back here and edit it. The duration expected of your study, let's say you're going to start next year, 2023, up to 2025 or 2024. The tuition fees, let's say $10,000. And the funds available, you can just have $20,000. As I mentioned, you don't have to spend anything, it's just a bank statement. But it's going to be a good thing to deposit $20,000 and to show that you have strong ties, you have the ability to, spend money to take care of yourself. Of course, you're going to get a part-time job, but that's for the immigration because they're not expecting you to come over and work. You're expecting you to come over and study. So expenses paid, let's say myself, parents, as I told you guys in my previous videos, or other, probably your uncle, he can just make a letter of explanation and explain that, hey, I'm going to pay my nephew, for example, $500 per month. He's just going to sign that or state his name, a passport number, and a copy of his bank statement. You should make it professional, and he must sign it and send it along with other documents. Okay, as I mentioned, you can use the website that I left in the description box down below. You can hire someone if you don't know how to make it professional, because it should be professional actually. And then the education, if you had any post-secondary education, you have to mention that from to the field and level of study, school name, town, from to the year and the month, country or territory and the province. And then the employment, you have to mention your details. I mean, give details of your employment in the past, for the past 10 years, right? Let's say you were doing customer service for 5 years in Qatar and customer service for 5 years in Dubai. You have to mention the address, the town, the city, the country, and everything, and your employer's name. I'm gonna scroll down and start the background information. If you have you or your family member ever had any diseases or lungs or anything related to that, so you can say no. If you had, of course, you have to click on yes and explain in this box down below. And if you have any physical or mental disorder, say no. So they're gonna block it. And then have you ever remained beyond your ability of your status in Canada before? No. Denied. If yes, you should mention the date and everything, even the number of your visa if you have it. Have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? No, because it's your first time. If you said you have been rejected, then you have to click yes on the other one. Say no, they block it again. Have you ever been committed, been arrested, or being charged? Let's say no. If yes, you have to provide all details in the box below. Did you serve in the military and anything else like that? Or if you were serving in organizations, you have to mention everything in details. No. Yeah, have you ever been a member or associated with any political party? Say no. Have you ever witnessed it or participated in any treatment of prisoners or civilians? No. If you wish them to contact you, of course, say yes. Your signature is supposed to be your first and last name. Let's say Sam Jones. And the date today is 25th. Let's start with the year. May 25th. Let's scroll down. Now we're going back to our account online. And you scroll down and you can see continue application because we already created one, right? And I click on that. Again, it's going to review your answers. Just scroll down again, continue. And it's going to show you that we're done now with the first application. We have to upload it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just scroll down and move forward. And now the evidence of work, that's you're going to get along with your letter of acceptance. So you're going to get that from your school. You're going to upload it, save it on your desktop. Passport, as I mentioned, the first and second page, it depends on your passport. Proof of means. If you want to provide something from your parents and their bank statement, you have to combine those files and put them in one PDF because you can't upload both of them. You have to upload only one file. And the same thing applies to other things like acceptance letter. And if you want to provide other information, explanation letter, study plan, you have to provide it all in one file, okay? You can provide the study plan and explanation letter and letter of acceptance all in one file. That's totally fine. Regarding the digital photo, as I mentioned, I'm gonna link in the description box down below the requirements. And now we're gonna go with the family information form, which is IMM 5645. Gonna click on that and here we are. We're gonna fill out the second application, which is the family information type of application, visitor, worker, student, of course. And then we're gonna move forward. We're gonna scroll down, your name, and then you're the applicant, date of birth, country of birth, your present address right now, your present occupation, and then you're gonna go to the status, your status, if you're single, and then, or if you're married, your spouse, and where she lives, her occupation as well. And if she's going to accompany you to Canada, let's say no, or let's say yes. And your parents' names, your mother, your father, their address, their occupations. And then you have to sign at the end, your name, first and last name, and the date. And then the second schedule, which is for your kids, your sons and daughters, the name, relation, daughter, for example, son, date of birth, or if they are coming to Canada, they're gonna accompany you. If you have more than 4, then you can get another application. Print this out and fill out another application and combine them together. The same applies to your siblings. This is the third schedule. Your sisters, your brothers, all of them. If this is not enough, you can print out another application, combine them together. The signature and the date. This is pretty much it for the family information. You can save it, you can print it. I'm gonna save it on desktop to apply it on our account. That's pretty much it for the second form. Let's move forward. Moving back to our account, As you can see, the family information, IMM5645, we already filled it out. We're gonna upload it and scroll down for the last application, which is the TRV, Temporary Resident Visa, made outside Canada, IMM5257. I'm gonna click on that and download it. And here we are, Schedule 1, which is application for temporary resident. The same like the other applications, they have the valid date and a clear form. It's really useful. And then you can indicate whether you are the main applicant or the spouse. We are the main applicant. The first name or the last name, Jones, Sam, date of birth, 1991. UCI, you don't have a UCI. And then the military service, the history, if you served, you have to mention each and everything, the location, the province, country, or territory. And if it's not enough, you can add here with the plus button on the right side, right here. And then we're gonna scroll to the next schedule. If you witness it or participated in any treatment of prisoners or civilians, say no. And then if you have a membership with association, organization, say no. If you held a government positions, if yes or no. And now the previous travel since the age of 18 during the past 5 years. So you have to mention if you traveled to any other countries for the last 5 years, other than your citizenship or your current country of residence. Let's say you're Indian and live in Dubai. You don't have to mention that you went to India or you went to Dubai, because you live in Dubai and you're Indian. So you have to mention, for example, if you went to Qatar, you went to the States or any other countries for the last 5 years. Okay, let's say yes. And now you have to mention everything from to, country, territory, location, and the purpose of travel. Let's say tourism, working, and so forth. You're gonna click on validate, double check if everything in order. And that's pretty much it. You're gonna save it and upload it on your account. Going back to our account online, and now you can upload the TRV because you're done. As I mentioned before, and as we talked about this, the client information, you have to make a Word document with your full name, address, phone number, email address, and just make it as a PDF and upload it. That's pretty much it. You can upload with this application the study plan explanation letter or with the acceptance letter. It's up to you. It's totally fine. And then you scroll down and you have to pay in full $235. And that's pretty much it. We're done. You can do it on your own. And if you have any questions, you can send us an email. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section. Hopefully you like the content today. Thank you so much and have a good one.